Hello and welcome. My name's Angie Holden and I'm the blogger behind the Country Chic Cottage. Today we're going to talk about cutting magnets with your Cricut machine. Now I'm going to use a Cricut Explore 3, but you can use any machine that will take the deep point blade. So that includes all the Explore machines as well as all the Maker machines. Pick the machine you have, grab some magnetic sheets, and get started making your own custom magnets right with your Cricut machine. Now I'm going to do a few different brands of magnet sheet. One that you can run straight through your printer and the other that is just adhesive magnet sheets. Then we'll talk about how to add that printed vinyl to the top. A couple different ways. See which way works best in my case, and it'll give you a few more options when you go to make magnets with your Cricut, depending on what your needs are and what your project is. So then hopefully at the end you end up with a cute magnet that you can add to your craft room, refrigerator, whatever. So let's take a look at the supplies we're going to use. We're going to make our magnets two different ways, so you'll have a couple of different options. The first are these printable magnetic sheets. So if you use these, you only need the magnetic sheets and your Cricut machine and of course a printer. Now if you can't find these or don't want to use them for some reason, they also make flexible magnetic adhesive sheets as well as Cricut printable vinyl. And we can combine these two to get the same look as the printable sheets. Then you also need your deep cut blade and either your Explore machine or your Maker. So any Explore or any Maker will work for this as long as you have the deep point blade. So now let's head to Design Space and take a look at designing magnets. All right, let's talk about how to get your images into Cricut Design Space. So I've already uploaded mine, but let me walk you through the process. You would click Upload, then Upload Image, and then you would click Browse and find your image on your computer. Once you find that, you will have an option for simple, moderately complex, or complex. I generally pick complex, just as a general rule, and click Continue. And then you're going to want to make sure that the background is checked. You can do that by clicking the background, or it may already be checked depending on the file type that you upload. And then you want to zoom out and make sure everything looks correct on your screen, and then your prints are ready to go. So we'll click Continue, and then you want to be sure to click Print, then Cut Image, and then click Upload. And then you'll pick that and click Insert Image. From here, you will need to resize so it's the correct size for print and cut. So remember, the maximum size for print and cut is 6.75 inches by 9.25 inches. So I already have a copy over here that I sized correctly. Now, if you are using the printable magnetic sheets, you only need the printed copy. You don't need anything else, but we're going to do this two ways. So I also have another way to do that here. If you only have the magnetic adhesive sheets and you're going to use printable vinyl for the actual images, you'll need one copy for the printable vinyl, which will be your printed images, and then you'll need another copy to cut. To do that, we just make a copy, bring that over here, pull down and click Cut instead of Print and Cut. And now you have an exact copy that will be cut out of the adhesive magnetic sheets instead of the Print and Cut copy. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this since I have two of them, and then you can click Make It. So because I'm using my Explore 3, it does ask me this, and I'm going to do on matte. Now, if you are doing the printable magnetic sheets, you should only have this page. So you only want to do the Print and Cut. That's the only thing you want to do. If you're doing the vinyl on top of magnetic adhesive sheets, you'll have the Print then Cut that's for the printable vinyl, and then you'll have the Cut only that is for the magnetic adhesive sheet. So now I'm going to head to my printer. I'm going to print a couple copies of this, and we'll head to the Explore machine, break out that deep cut blade, and start making some magnets. So here are the printed versions of our magnets and our two ways that we're going to make them. The first is with the printable magnet sheets, and then I just had to run this magnetic sheet through my printer, printing on the white side. You always want to pick best quality printer settings and choose a matte paper setting when you're printing on material like this. Otherwise, I'm super happy with the way the print turned out, and I think this magnetic sheet will cut amazingly on my Cricut machine. So this is the easiest way to make magnets with your Cricut, is to get the printable magnet sheet. But perhaps you can't find it, or you have a special case where this will not work. I wanted to show you a different way to make them. So in this case, I've done two things. I've printed a sheet of just printable vinyl with my images that I want to put on the magnet. And then I have a sheet of adhesive magnetic sheet that I will cut into the shape that I printed as well. And then we'll assemble those two together. So for each of the magnetic sheets, we're gonna put them down on a strong grip mat and press down really well. For the adhesive vinyl, you can put that on a blue light grip mat and it will cut fine. So let's head to our Cricut machine. I'm going to use the magnetic sheet 0.5 millimeter setting for both of these magnetic sheets. There's also a magnetic sheet 1.0 millimeter setting. So if you have thicker magnetic sheet than these two, that would be what you would use. So let's head to our Cricut Explore 3 and cut these magnets. The first one that I'm cutting is the printable magnetic sheet. So I've added my deep point blade into my Cricut Explore 3. And I like to go ahead and move these star wheels when I'm cutting anything that it might imprint on. So I just kind of take my fingernail over here on the side and try to imprint on the material. And if I can see an indentation, that indicates to me that the star wheels should be moved. So I just move all of those over all the way to the right. And then once those are all over to the right, now I can load my mat. Now that my star wheels are all the way over to the right, I've loaded my sheet, and now I can press the go button for the machine to start cutting my magnet. Now that the machine is done cutting this, you can check to make sure it's cut all the way through before you even remove it from the machine, and these are. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the button here to unload. And then I will go ahead and peel back this extra sheet and discard it. Then you can see these super cute magnets, and you just peel them up off of the Cricut mat. And you can see they are magnetic on the back. So I'll just repeat for all of my magnets, then I'll have a full set of crafty magnets that I can use in my craft room or any room of my home. So I am gonna leave the link for the file that I used in the description below, but you can literally do this with any image or sticker sheet. So now let's take a look at our second method for making magnets. So now we need to cut our other magnet experiment. This is the printable vinyl, and I put it on a blue mat. This is the adhesive magnetic sheet, and it is magnet side down on a purple mat. So I'm going to cut first the print and cut vinyl, and then I'm going to cut the magnetic sheet on that same magnet sheet setting. I have the printable vinyl, and I went ahead and put my fine point blade back into the machine. Then you just press go to start the cut. All right, and then when that is done, I'm gonna unload this, and these are now stickers made out of printable vinyl, and we'll add those to our magnetic sheet, but first we need to cut that magnetic sheet. So I'm gonna set my printable vinyl aside that's already cut, and I'm gonna add my magnetic sheet to my Cricut. I went ahead and added the deep point blade back to my Cricut, and now I'm gonna load my mat. Then I'll just press the go button to cut. All right, so here's my magnetic sheet cut on my Cricut. So I did want to do it this way to show you that the Cricut would in fact cut this magnetic sheet all by itself. So if you have some sort of project where you need just a magnetic sheet cut, this will definitely do it. However, I do have an easier way to make the magnets themselves, but let's walk through this version. So you remove the protective top piece, then you remove the printable vinyl, and then you line the two up and put them one over the other. And now you have a magnet ready for your refrigerator or your craft room. Now, I said I have an easier way. Let's take a look at another way to combine the printable vinyl with the magnetic sheet that makes it a little bit easier. So let's look at a way to make this a bit easier. Now, I'm using printable vinyl still. You can use regular paper, so this is printed on regular paper. However, I don't trust the adhesive on the magnetic sheet, so I like the double adhesive for this version of the magnets. For this version, we'll take the magnetic sheet and we'll peel back the entire protective sheet from the top. And then we'll repeat for the printable vinyl. Again, peel back that backing from the entire sheet. Then we'll just apply the vinyl over the entire sheet of magnet, and I kind of like to start at one end, work my way to the other end, lining it up exactly. You do not have to do that because this time the Cricut is going to take care of that for us. So you can see that I did not line it up exactly perfect. So I want to show you that the Cricut will take care of this and it will cut out our pieces perfectly. All right, so then we take the whole magnetic sheet, apply it right to the strong grip mat. And I have had a little bit of trouble with these magnetic sheets sticking, so I like to just go over that with a brayer and make sure everything's down really, really well. Now that this is down, we can cut it in the exact same manner as we did that printable magnet sheet, because now it's basically the same thing. Now we can just load it into our Cricut machine with the deep point blade installed. Then we just press the go button to cut. All right, so this is done cutting, and while these cut out fine, this is definitely the least clean of all of the methods. And some of the finer details did not cut as well. So while I can still get pieces like this and they look really good, if I go to get the sewing machine, you're gonna see that the fine detail of that little needle is actually just all messed up. So some of my finer details got ruined with this method. So if you're gonna use this method, you may wanna stick with larger magnet pieces, but it is definitely a method that you can pick from to cut magnets with your Cricut. So now I have some cute and crafty magnets for my craft room, which is where I'm gonna use them. So I'm gonna link to all the supplies I used in the description below. So head there. If you're on computer, you might have to click show more. If you're on a mobile, you might have to swipe up or click the arrow button to expand the description. But then I'll have links for the magnetic sheets, the printable vinyl, the cute file I used if you wanna make your own crafty magnets. All those should be in the description below. If you have any questions, if I missed a link, drop those in the comment section below. If you liked this video, if it helped you, give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, head on over to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. We have videos like this every week, and trust me, you don't want to miss any of those. So thank you all so much for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.